English 0365 Weekly Notes, Week 11. Hello students, we're almost at the end of the course. This week we're doing chapter 9, which is arguments, and also the last chapter in our reader. Once we complete chapter 10, we'll spend the week doing some extra cumulative practice. The final should be more or less online with our midterm. So time management and accurate note-taking will definitely help you. If you do good annotations and you manage your time wisely, you should have no time. Agreed, you may not understand every word, but if you read the questions first and then as you read the article annotate followed by an outline or a map, all the answers will probably pop up in front of your very eyes. Once again, I want to remind you this because maybe nobody told me that you already did this or if you had some problems. But is this your last term in ESOL? If it is, go check with an advisor. Mr. Mel Anthony is normally the advisors that handle students who are moving into college level classes. Even if you are not, if you may not be moving into college level classes, but this is your last term, I recommend that you go to take the TSI because you never know if you might come back, and so you have already the TSI. As I told you last week, you don't need to pass the TSI, you just have to have in record that you took it. Okay, this brings me to our final project, the Immigrant Advantage. Have you checked it out? Have you read the guidelines? Do you have any questions? And then are you working on it on your own or with somebody? I know a couple of you told me you're working together. One of you told me you're working on your own, and that's it. I have not heard at all from the rest of you. One thing I want to talk about a little bit this week, and I know a couple of you asked about this, I told you that the format of your paper needed to be MLA. So what is MLA? I thought that perhaps you had studied this in one of your other classes, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So we are going to review. So MLA is basically a formatting style, a writing style. There's different styles of writing when you do a research paper. MLA, which I believe means Modern Language Association, is one of them. There's also APA, there's Chicago style. So depending on your discipline, you will have different ways to format the paper. In this class, I use MLA, and that's all it is. It's just a format. I want to show you a website that's very, very useful. It's the OWL Online Writing Lab from Purdue University. I don't know if you have used it in the past or not, but this is a great place to find information. Now, if you go to our library, you can also find, but I want to show you this one because this one it just gives you a very clear indication. So on the website, on the presentation itself, I have copied the address here. So if you click here or you copy and paste here, you will be able to go to the address of Purdue University. So I want to show you specifically some of the editing things. So first I'm going to show you what the paper looks like. So let's scroll down. Okay, so this is a paper formatted in MLA style. So basically it's where you put things on the page. So your first name, your professor's name, the name of the course, and the date, all those go on the left side of the paper, and the spacing is 2, just like in the rest of the paper. So first and last name, professor's name, the name of the course, and the date. On the right side, you put your last name and the page number. And you do that when you go in your main page, when you do the footnotes. So this is a head note and a footnote, so you put this as a head note here. And so if you put it as a head note, it's going to appear in every page, so the second page is the same. Then the title goes in the middle of the page. It doesn't go underline or bigger or anything like that, and there is no difference in spacing between the title and the rest of the paper. So we have the title in the middle of the page. Now the font, normally you can use Times New Roman or Arial. Either one. And font, please use 12. 12 is a good number, and always double space. So basically that's what it looks. This is the first page of an MLA paper. So the other thing that I want to point out, which I think there are only two things that we are going to talk about, is how do you cite the work that you take from somebody else. So if you are taking work that's been paraphrased either from the Immigrant Advantage, or maybe you went to a website, I want to show you how you do that in the text itself. So let me show you. Okay, so I clicked here where it says MLA in text citation, the basics, and here are the rules. So let's say that you took information from somebody and you know the last name of the person, but you are using the last name in the writing itself. So here it says Wordsworth, which is the last name, stated that romantic poetry was marked by a spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. In parentheses, 263. So you have the name of the person as you're writing. So in parentheses, you only put the page number. If you took it from a book, that would be the page number. Now, if you are paraphrasing, but you do not put the name of the author in your paraphrase, then in parentheses, after whatever you paraphrase, you put the last name of the author and the page number. Now, if you already named him once, then you only put the page number. So both of the citations in the examples above tell the readers that the information in the sentence can be located on page 263 of a work by an author named Wordsworth. So if you want more information, then you go to the works cited at the end of the paper, and it's the last name of the author, the first name, the name of the book, the publisher, the year that it was published, and whether it's print or web. So this is a known author. Here we have more examples in text citation for print sources with known author. So you can put the page number in parentheses, or if you you just put the page number because the author here was named in the text itself. In the second example, the author has not been named in the text itself, so then you put the last name and the page number. So now, in case you do not know the name of the author, then you just put in parentheses the name of the article. A lot of times you don't know an author, but you know the article, so then you just put the name of the article and the page number where you took it from. And in the works cited at the end of the article that you have written, then you don't know the name of the author, so you just put the name of the article and then the year, and it was a web article, and so when you downloaded it from the internet. If you have a lot of articles or a lot of authors in one article, Then you can Smith, Young, and Moore, so you have three of them. You can just cite all three. Or the authors state that, you cite all three and then the page number. You can also say, if you have more than three authors, Jones et al. That means that there are several authors and you just name the first one. You can see an example of an electronic source here. So we know the name of the person that wrote it, and so we can say Garcia Herzog Alive. That's the name of the article. This is from an electronic source, or this is another electronic source. This one you can just put the last name of the person, and here are how they're cited. They're always cited in, this is in works cited, by the last name, the first name, the name of the article, the place where it was found, and the date, and it's from the web, and this is when it was downloaded. Anyway, as I told you, I already gave you the link, and so if you have more questions on formatting, you can check this link. And here I want to show you there is a sample paper, so I'm going to click on it. Okay, so I clicked where it said MLA sample paper, and you can see here, you can go and read it all yourself, but notice that there's the name of the person, the name of the professor, the name of the course, and the date. And it's double space, 12 point times New Roman. I will also accept if you do it in Arial. And the green boxes are going to contain explanations about MLA style, and the blue ones directions for writing and citing in MLA style. So you have the title here is centered but exactly the same as the rest of the paper. I want to find the citation here. Okay, so for example here we have the last name of the person and the page number. Notice that it doesn't say P, it's just the number by itself. Again, the same person, the page number, another person, the page number. And when you have already mentioned the same person, or you already mentioned her there, so you just mention the page number without having to mention the name of the person again. So I will let you look at this by yourself. I don't want you to get too complicated with this. You're writing a very simple paper, just 2 pages, but I want you to practice using this format because I know that in regular classes you're going to be asked to write using MLA or APA or whatever, and if you've never seen it before, if you take a writing class with me, you will certainly see it, but if you have another professor, you may not see it. So it's a good idea that you know a little bit about it. So pay attention to the titles, pay attention to where you put your personal information, pay attention that you double space, that you use Times New Roman or Arial, and your in-text citations. And that's basically all that I want you to do to practice for this paper. Again, if you have any questions about anything else, please let me know. Something that I want to remind you this week is the student evaluations. As you know, for all the courses that you take, you probably have been asked to do a student evaluation. for your professor. So this is no different in an online class. Our department and our dean really appreciate that you do evaluations of us, and I do too, because we like to know how our students feel about our classes and our programs, and you're always very helpful with your suggestions and with your evaluation. So please go online, find the student evaluation, and please submit one. I will not see your evaluations until the semester is over, but I always read them very carefully. One thing that I do for the evaluation is give the students who completed a bonus point. So as soon as you have done the evaluation, and I noticed that a couple of you already did it because I went to check and it says 2 students have completed my evaluations, but of course I don't know who these 2 students are. So if you would let me know that you completed, I will give you 20 bonus points for taking the effort to complete your evaluation. And again, I sure appreciate it. So, as I mentioned earlier, this week we are going to be doing chapter 9, which is arguments. Most of the time you talk about argument in a writing class. What is an argument? But in this class, in reading, we need to recognize what is an argument in reading. And again, the final chapter of the reader, so I'm going to be asking for your opinion on the final chapter. Well, that's all that I have for you this week. I know it was a little bit longer, but I wanted to make sure that you have a clear idea of MLA. But if you still don't, please don't hesitate to contact me. Have a great week.